Why you think that is?
When you see what you saw, there'll never be no support in that. Never. That's before they saw what they saw. Once they saw what they saw, once I saw what I saw, I ain't never seen no shit like that, bro. Can't nobody do nothing like that in front of me in person. Big had invited me down to the Four Seasons, MSCs, and we spent all day literally brainstorming about some shit, watching all the videos that was coming out. Yeah, big plans for Little Kim, big plans for the new shit he was doing with C's. Yeah, man. That was like a day before. That nigga was cool more than most people in the world. Cool. Real cool, dude. Shout out to Lil C's. And he'll back all that up because you want that to be backed up, saying shit like that. Those are my brother Lil C's, though. He made it all happen.
Ray J recently broke his silence about Diddy, addressing the lack of public support from celebrities amid Diddy's mounting legal issues. Ray J suggested that many of Diddy's friends and associates are taking their time to understand the serious allegations before making any public statements. He believes they are still processing the information and waiting to see how the situation unfolds before speaking out. Ray J emphasized that it's a complex issue and that people need time to comprehend what is true and what isn't.
It's just not okay. And, you know, when somebody is around somebody and we're counting on them to be one of our leaders in a space that we're all trying to get to, that's not acceptable to do. And it's not okay. I mean, it might be forgivable in the sense of a spiritual realm of life or forgive everybody, but it's unforgettable. And that's where you just draw the line on friendship and hanging out and supporting and being cool. It's like, niggas, it's done, you know, and that's it.
Yeah, that video was out of pocket, man. It should never get to that point where you stumping a female, man.
It's not okay, man. And it's not something that niggas can just take lightly, you know? Cannot do that. Not okay. Niggas is not cool. Period.
You knowing Diddy personally, was you surprised when you seen that video?
Heartbreaking. And shameful. And unacceptable. I've never seen nothing like that. I've never seen nothing like that in the history of my life. So, that's a new for me. I don't know what kind of demon you are, but, you know, somebody need to motherfucking form an exorcism fast.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, I'm still in disbelief about what I seen. To see him kicking her like that, man, yeah, that was crazy, man.
There's no place in that. And for somebody like me or anybody to say what I'm saying, they better not have had something like that happen. You get what I'm saying? Because now they even put their whole self at risk with being honest. You know what I'm saying? It's like people watch these reality shows and you see certain people arguing and shit get a little tense, right, on reality, but there's a certain level of where you don't go. You get what I'm saying? And this and that just do not go together. It just doesn't. You can't compare this of, you know, a back and forth verbal, whatever it is, in a sense of having a disagreement, right? And even getting too loud at this point is not even okay. But that is way on another page of somebody yelling or screaming. That's not humane.
You think it's over for him?
It's not about that. It's just about you know, life in this industry goes on without certain people because their membership club is revoked. Their membership in the club is revoked. It's over. So you don't have room to make mistakes like that in the big club. You can't do that. You can't. So that's inexcusable.
What you mean by that when you say his membership is revoked?
Meaning, if you threw a party tonight, the people on your invitation list, that club, the people that throw a party tomorrow or a foundation for be anything that has substance to it, right? It's no longer available for some people to be invited to or welcome.
But as time went on, the stories started piling up, and folks began talking about how he treated his artists, with many saying they felt used and discarded. Mays, for instance, publicly called out Diddy for keeping his publishing rights, saying he was financially trapped despite his contributions to the label's success.
There's some people recently that you and your friend cool with, the R. Kelly situation and the Diddy situation. What's going through your mind when you hear, obviously R. Kelly's, his thing has already been handed down. He's already received his punishment, and you see Diddy going through what he's going through.
It's heartbreaking, man. Everybody messes up, but we can't be cool after that. It took me like a week to it's like it's unforgettable. Unforgivable is too much. Never being able to be around us in our world because we don't condone that is definitely a fact. And from there, you have to go on that journey on your own and find yourself and find forgiveness for yourself and somewhere far away from where we are. There's no room for that here. There's no room for that in this world that we've been working hard to get to, and to limit our mistakes and to continue to build our respect. And what scares me about that is that if there's other guys out there that's doing that or have done that and that are forgiven now, I would say, what do we do with them? How does that work? You know? That's the only thing I'm kind of confused about, because if I'm like, I'm good, but I might run into a couple people and forgot that they might have been in that situation. Haven't seen it. That's just fucking unacceptable. I've never ever seen nothing like that in my life. I've never witnessed nothing like that in person or on camera besides the Tina Turner movie.
Right.
That shit was out of bounds, right?
Right, for sure.
So if I didn't see somebody else do it, but I heard about it, and they're forgive. Now that I know that, what do I do with these niggas, or what do I do with them? What do you do? What do we do? I'm asking you.
Right. I agree with you. I've never been around in situations like that. I've never seen, don't know of anything to that nature. But I would intervene.
I would have went crazy.
I'd intervene. I'm not gonna let you do. I'm not gonna let you do that because
I've never. Trust me.
I got a sister, mom, and a daughter.
It would have been my pleasure to get busy and protect whoever was going through that. And Cassie, like, you are strong, and you know, we're talking about your situation. So with all due respect, I'm sorry for everything that you encountered. I've been around you. I've been around y'all. I never knew, you know what I'm saying? And I apologize for even continuing to just be around.
Right.
Like, I don't know who I am. Now knowing this, I know what I won't allow. And so if I know anybody around me that's active in that world, I'm gonna react.
Right.
And now I'm just going through, what do we do with people that have been in those situations that we've never seen what it looks like,
Right.
but we know that it happened. What do we do? Because I can forgive from afar, but like, I'm not saying what's up to Puff like that ever again. It's not cool like that. So shouldn't it be like that with every other nigga
For sure.
that has even remotely played around with that kind of situation,
Right.
and been involved with even the smallest amount, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
People hit me and they, you know, some of the comments, and the comments are like BB shots to me, like from like 10 miles away. But, you know, you look at some of the TV shows we did, you look at me and Princess arguing a little bit on TV, you know, they say, oh, you push Princess in the pool and all of that. And I'm sorry, Prinky, and that's all television stuff. And shout out to Viacom and Paramount Plus, because when shit is real in a dark place,
Right.
there's boundaries. They're not gonna go there, right? So you enjoy the demise of relationships on TV, but that's still on these surfaces of disagreeing and trying to do better. Don't do that again. Don't yell.
Right.
Don't, right? That ain't that. That's not that. That's something else. Bare knuckles, like, you know what I'm saying? The homie need a public whipping.
Yeah.
It's the only way it's gonna be right, with a public whipping. Like, you know, the whip.
He could possibly in some serious trouble reading that they're possibly convening a grand jury to
100 lashes. For the first half.
is Puffy, the P. Diddy, is his life as we know it, is it over? Not he's gonna die or anything like that, but I'm saying, will he ever be what he once was?
1,000 lashes. From everybody that you've slain and heard, 1,000 lashes. Publicly, 1,000. That would help. 1,000 lashes. Made by you, somebody your size. That's gonna give it to him. Not my size. My arm hurt. Your size, niggas ain't gonna make it past 9. So think about 1,000 lashes, and you're that forgiving.
Right. A few years ago, you called a scare. You posted, if it wasn't for my kids, I would jump off and die tonight. Should I just jump and end it right now? Maybe the next life, my real story. And then your sister posted, need you, bruh, the praying hands. What were you going through at that point in time that had you so low that as great as Ray J had it, contemplated that?
I was in motherfucking mushrooms, man. Them motherfuckers are high. Dude, no. Never again.
What made you try? You know you ain't supposed to eat no frog house.
Good. It was good for just the fungus was good, whatever. But 1/8 of it, and then just still going through stuff, right? And then you know, naturally you enhance yourself and you just lose it a little bit. And then, you know, like, I think that just regular, maybe weed here and there, okay, and that's it for me. Like the mushrooms and other things that can charge your inner emotions. Mm-hmm. It's just something that you know, don't need to do. Like if brown makes you a mad drunk, then don't drink brown.
Right.
It makes you happy. Focus on those things. If it's water or, you know, busting a nut or whatever it is, right? Do that instead of that. And so that just took me somewhere else, and I was in a real bad place. It's pretty ugly.
So there was nothing wrong. It was just that you got a hold of something that you shouldn't have had.
No, there was something wrong with me.
Really?
But
obviously,
the stuff can activate the honest emotions, and
right.
sometimes what shrooms do, I don't know if you seeing the truth. You seeing a little bit of the truth, and then you just start acting like everybody's bad. But before that, you can see a little bit of it before you start going on your tweak.
Right.
But yeah, I was going through some stuff, and my mom and my sister, Princess, the kids, everybody helped me through that. My dad. Yeah, and sometimes you just kind of hit rock bottom emotionally. You start to not think everything is a dream, nobody's real, because this whole shit is backwards.
Ray J's own experiences with Diddy have been varied. He's been around Diddy's famous parties and industry dealings, which are often shrouded in secrecy and controversy. During an interview, when asked whether he saw any shady stuff at Diddy's parties, Ray J chose to plead the fifth, suggesting there's more to the story than he's willing to share publicly.
Last movie I did, would it take us 20 minutes? Yeah. I don't mean that one.
Yeah, you do.
No, that one was like 3.5 days. That was 3.5 days. That was 3.5 days of reality too, because it was a full thing. I had a full production. Shout out to all my people in Cabo that did Grip, man. Just because you feel like, you trying to find yourself and you trying to stay. I think the young kids sometimes want to just be cool.
Okay.
And you might be talented knowing how to tap dance or perform a different way, and it might push you to limits that you might not want to be that vulnerable or that vocal or that happy, right? So you limit yourself from some of the great things that you could be because you're trying to stay cool, right, and stay a G or whatever. And I think for all the kids out there, man, you gotta just let that go, because a lot of the people in the gangs, they want to see you elevate, right? So most of the time, most of my homies call me movie star blood because they wanted me to really elevate and not be here. So they was the ones that even inspired me even more to just be the best I can be, and they gonna ride and support whether I'm tap dancing, whether I'm rapping, whether I'm singing. They want you to go out and win and bring everybody out with you, right? So a lot of times you don't see that till later.
Right. Did your mom know that you were affiliated with a gang?
Yeah, my mom, my sister, everybody did.
And so how was that conversation? Did they have a sit down talk? Did your mom and dad have a sit down talk? Did Brandy, your big sis, have a sit down talk? Would you say, Ray J, what you doing?
Absolutely. I mean, because I didn't need to, but when I don't know how to explain it, but when the gang take over your soul almost, you blinded, you know what I'm saying? It was so much red in my eyes, I couldn't see anything but that. Right. And honestly, I never really talked about it this deep because it's hard. If you're not from LA,
you don't understand it.
It's outrageous what I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty loud. You know what I mean? And so there's certain things that, I keep to myself most of the time because it's just not believable in this day and time. And so I try to, whenever there is something to talk about, I talk about it. But what I'm doing for the gangs right now, it's a new C3 and C4 companies that we're creating, but it's called Gang Up, and it's God's Angels Never Give Up, right? So it's activating all the gangs to be able to be a part of this new television community in any aspect, from grip to production to directing to on front of the camera. A world where they can create and be themselves and tell their story every day, make money for the gangs, and create these new opportunities in the future for a layer of multi-layer of things, right? Without getting into detail, but that's what I am working on to express my love for the gang, but then also to show the world that the gangs are so underestimated with talent and what they do, and their story, and what they can bring to the table. I mean, it's just so many things that people that are part of gangs can do that's better than the people that you're paying these top dollars that went to college to do shit, right? And I want to make sure I open up these doors for them to be great and to make money just like everybody else in any space.
Everybody knows your big sister. Well, 99% of the people know that your big sister is Brandy Norwood. How did she get discovered? What was her big break? You say she went on all these auditions, and obviously she's very talented. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. But what was her big break? What was her big break moment?
Her first album, I Want to Be Down.
Okay.
And that was produced by Keith Crouch. Daryl Williams was in control.
So how old was she then? About 16?
About 14, 15, she was working on the project.
Okay.
And then around 15, 16, it came out.
Okay.
And it was the biggest thing. I couldn't believe it. When I first heard her on the radio, I was just like,
that's my big sis?
Freaking out. Because you see people in the studio. We was in the studio working, but I didn't know it was going from that to that. So it was just, it was just a blessing, man. And it was just a crazy run from that to touring to Moesha and everything that her and my mom and my dad just had in front of them. It was very powerful. And they brought me in, let me produce commercials, let me be a part of a lot of different, business decisions and projects that they brought me in on, just even behind the scenes, just to make some money. So like I pay all my love and homage to my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandma, rest in peace, and everything that they've been doing, man. They are definitely the rock that I need to be able to do me and know that there's this safety net that I have that'll keep me safe whenever.
You're very close to your sister. I think you're a couple of years apart.
Yeah.
And you recently got a tattoo of her. What type of big sister was she?
Is she? She's just real, man. She's been a best friend, and she's understood just a lot of times when I was just going left. She understood it, you know what I'm saying? And never really got in the way until I was at the edge, you know what I mean? And you need that even today, even to this day, certain things I do or certain things I might promote or post. She never really says anything, but when she thought I had the tattoos on my face and I was just going through that whole campaign, she was very mad, and she called me and she was like, you look dirty, you look out of bounds, you need to go home and shake it off, and I don't know what's going on. Like really strong words that I needed, you know what I mean, to kind of like splash some water in my face and get some rest and then, reboot.
She's your sister. She does the album 14, 15. Album comes out 15, 16. That is your sister. But could you see, because like when my brother was being a professional athlete, I can only see him as my brother. Although he's one of the greats, you're my brother.
Yeah.
Could you see Brandy as any other thing other than your sister? Or did you realize, like, one of the biggest stars in America lives in my house?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I was like Brandy's biggest cheerleader at the time, and for me, it was lights, camera, action. So it was just nothing but just beautifulness everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was young, and it was just so many beautiful women and just so many beautiful moments. And it was just a beautiful garden of love and acceptance, and that's your little brother. Oh, and it's just like, and it was just, I was everywhere I wanted to be, and it was just a time, man. It's crazy how those times are like in the past, but they feel historical, man. They feel like.
This isn't the first time Ray J has been linked to high-profile controversies. His career has seen its share of ups and downs, from his early music success to his role in reality TV and his tumultuous personal life. His decision to speak out now highlights the growing unease in the entertainment industry about Diddy's actions and the potential fallout from these serious accusations.
It felt like a moment in time, not just for me though, just in the world. Like I feel everybody's energy with me on that. So I'm just blessed to have those moments, man. I'm blessed to have a sister and a mom and a dad like that.
Did you and Brandon have disagreements when you were growing up? Or was she too busy auditions or rehearsals or doing things that you really didn't have? Because you kind of doing your own thing, because you know you were kind of like about to go left, and your mom and Brandon, your father, you got a chance to reel you in. So you guys didn't have any sibling rivalry?
Nah, not at all. Like, I mean, what's crazy is like never, because I never wanted to work that hard. You get what I'm saying? It had to be a little bit more fun.
Right.
And I think the only time we was like going back and forth in the beginning stages was when I was telling her and Rodney Jerkins, who's one of the greatest producers in the universe, I was telling him that Pharrell is one of the greatest producers in the universe, and the songs that we got is killing everything. And they was just really shitting on us at the time. Right. And with Rodney, you know, it was from all of, you know, the new Never Say Never album. It was Michael Jackson. It was everybody in the world was working with Rodney. And Pharrell hadn't had his break, him and Chad and the Neptunes. But I had some of the first records, and I just knew that Pharrell was going to be a game changer, and Chad and the Neptunes. And so we just fought, and I fought the label, and I fought everybody to drop Wait a Minute with Lil' Kim instead of this song we did with Rodney. But fast forward into later, Rodney and I, we did One Wish, LaShiz and Freddie, all of us. So we made a massive record together later. But the record I wanted and the people I wanted to be around in the beginning was Pharrell and Chad. And they thought we was tweaking because it took us 10 minutes to do the song. We was rapping about being in the club, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Being with the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Smoking weed, having a good time, West Coast, right? On a Neptune's classic beat, and they were like, "You're off. The beat is whack. This and that. Pharrell is right." This is then. Right. And the song came out, and we worked it from the ground up. Really, not a lot of money, because Atlantic wanted me to go another way, and the shit started to blow up, and Pharrell went from there to there to there. You know what I mean? And it just showed me that there's never one way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do my vocals all day for 9 hours, and that might work. Or I could do it one time in the booth, and it works too. And so that gave me all the things I needed really to dominate in this world. Right. You know what I'm saying? In my own space.
When you got the tattoo of Brandy, why did you do it? And when you told her you had gotten it, or did you share with her you were going to get the tattoo, or you just did?
Which tattoo?
You got a tattoo?
The one that she got mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pissed.
Why? Do I need to take a drink too? Okay.
Well, she was mad because I got Brandy on my arm too. I got Brandy a couple places, right? But I got the tattoo on my leg, right, from one of the biggest tattoo artists out, Mascal, right?
Okay.
And in his style, he like makes it kind of gothic with the red eyes, and like, it's a little evil. The first way he did it, he told me to keep it like that. I'm like, nah, put your signature touch on it, bro. And when he did it, it made it really like gothic. And I think the tattoo went viral the wrong way. I think that was one. I think the tattoo was not it.
Right.
For the world.
Right.
I like the tattoo. Could I think maybe he should have taken the red eyes out?
Right. But you asked him to put his touch on it.
Because that's his style. That's like saying the Basquiat, don't put your signature Basquiat on it. Or, you know, Warhol to not do what he does. Or Picasso, or whoever other, you know, artists people like. And so, yeah, I mean, even I think India Ari DM'd me a few people like, man, you need to pray. And I'm like, yo, I explained to her what it was, and she's like, okay. But a few people hit me mad at me about it. It seemed demonic to them.
So that's kind of what she was more upset about, is because of the portrayal, because it's gothic and it looks kind of sinister.
I think so. I think she didn't really say too much about it. She just was, just a little concerned about it,
Right.
you know. But she wasn't really tripping. But it went viral.
Right.
It went viral bad.
Your acting career. Did you tell your parents you wanted to do this, or it just happened? It happened by accident.
I wanted to act.
You wanted to act.
Yeah, I got the Sinbad show early. And at the time, the Sinbad show was a bigger show than Thea.
Yeah.
So I was feeling myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sinbad was nice.
I was feeling myself.
Okay.
I think it was on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brandy dropped the album, and it went into places that I didn't think that was realistic anyway. So it all worked out, you know. I liked acting. I like acting. I don't like it now because it takes too long, but I liked it then though.
Right.
In the broader context, Ray J's comments reflect a hesitancy within the industry to confront powerful figures like Diddy directly. While some, like On, had called for prayers and patience, while others seem to be waiting for more clarity before taking a stand. This situation underscores the power dynamics at play and the fear of retribution that keeps many silent.
Measure P, when I'm around, these are my dudes. They sing all day. A girl come around and be like, baby, right on her, right? I ain't never been like that. So to have to do that, I hated that in the beginning. I needed to sing some shit that was going to be more like fitting to like what my lifestyle is.
Right.
And so,
the club.
yeah, and Pharrell gave me that record, but there was a record called Out the Ghetto that I should have did after that he told me to do. And I didn't even listen to Pharrell. And when I didn't listen to Pharrell, that's when I fell hard. Because he had my back and he knew the vision, and it was vividly perfect. But I just was too, I was an idiot, and I was just too into like being lit and not giving a fuck.
But Ray, you saw the vision in Pharrell when no one else did.
I know.
You go, he does the song with you. He says, you know what? Our next project should be this.
Your next single should be this.
Yes, and you say
like,
no.
Coming off of Wait a Minute, if I would have released Out the Ghetto, what? Then who would I be? Where would I be? I could be lost in the sauce and dead right now. Rich and dead. Successful and uncomfortable with like where life was, you know, you never know. So
Ray, you overthinking it.
Nah, because I'm here now with you.
But here's the thing. Who's to say you would still be here with me if you did it in the ghetto?
You're right. Out the ghetto.
Out the ghetto.
Yeah, no, you're right. And so those are great depressions that I went through as I watched Pharrell succeed and Chad succeed, the Neptunes, with just every artist you could imagine, they were a part of their success. And knowing that I was with Pharrell, and I had that connection, and I fucked it up. You know, it took me some time to get back on my feet.
Is that what happens? Is that when you have an opportunity and you think something can be successful and you miss that opportunity, is that when the depression starts? Because all of a sudden you, like I said, I think you overthink a lot of things, but you start to think like, damn, am I going to have another hit? Will this ever happen again?
I think everybody goes through those realizations if they made a mistake at some of the most important parts where the fork is in the road for how your life's going to go. Okay. Yeah, you know, you go through that, and a lot of people don't get a second chance.
True.
And a lot of people don't try again. And so for me to continue to try and just continue to push, it was a tough journey, man, but it was well worth it.
Right.
It was well worth everything that's happened.
But you have your acting career is kind of simultaneous as you're doing music, because you have Steels and Mars Attack as a kid. Shaq's in the cast. You got Jack Nicholson, Jack Black, Danny DeVito. Bro, you a kid and you with big time stars. I'm talking about AA list.
Tim Burton directed.
Yes.
No, it was big. I mean, I was
directed the first Batman.
Yep, I was floating, you know, and a lot of things I don't even remember.
Really?
It's like some people that's like gigantic, like they would tell me like we had moments and we were hanging out, and I'd be like, really? Because I've been looking at you for the past 8 years, just a fan, and I didn't know we even had moments, right? So these cycles, like I've been in it I've been able to see like the success of the industry since like 94. And I was only like 14.
Wow.
You know? Am I sweating?
No, you
A
good.
little bit. It's getting a little hot. It's getting a little hot. It's almost change shirt time with the heat. And I know we haven't even gotten, I know how what you're doing. No. Meaning like it's all up, but the way you are, the way you about to set this thing up for the next phase of my life. Like, can I take a cigarette break?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. Because I know what's about to going into the next phase of my life. Shit, man.
Ray J's music career took off in the late 1990s with his debut album, Everything You Want, in 1997. However, it was his second album, This Ain't the Game, that brought him more recognition, particularly with the hit single Wait a Minute featuring Lil' Kim. His third album, Radiation, released in 2005, included the popular track One Wish, which became one of his signature songs.
She's a big time actor. She's a singer. Both parents are together. So you got money. You know, you one of these black families that got a little money. Did your family tell you no, or were you spoiled?
I've like when you doing TV, you always got like my mom always
Because she was your manager.
Yeah, so we always had trust funds and stuff. So I always had like an allowance growing up that I could spend. A couple times I was like spending it in the neighborhood. I bought like this G ride, this big ass like Cadillac. It was the big long one.
Okay.
Right? I was like 14. I was getting like, $300 a week. That's solid back in the day.
Yeah.
So I bought the G ride for like $350.
Right.
And I had it parked down the street. So I would drive it here and there, but I let the homies drive me around.
Right.
But yeah, that was one of my first purchases. Was the G ride Cadillac. It wasn't stolen. It just was like one of the homies, like aunties that didn't want it no more.
Yeah.
But my people didn't know, so I did have a car at like 14. But
your mom and dad didn't know you had a car.
I mean, that car too. It was like it was one of them big ass.
So you had like an L dog or something.
Yeah. So if I drove it a couple times, but it just didn't even look right. You know what I'm saying? But nah, they didn't tell me no. There was always a limit to do stuff.
Right.
But back in the day, I always kind of went over the limit. You know what I'm saying? And they always had to bring me back to reality. Yeah.
Right. But you had a lot of famous friends growing up. How was that hanging out with famous friends?
Well, Snoop was my cousin.
Yes.
And Daz was my cousin. So I would, if I wasn't in the neighborhood or over in the fruits with Demetrius, I was at Can-Am.
Okay.
So I used to like go down the street and Snoop and Daz would pick me up, and then I would just hide under the back of the Cherokee Jeep until I got past my pops, and then we would go to the valley.
Oh man,
yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember the last time I got caught out there.
Right.
And I had found some Playboy magazines at my school.
Right.
And it was like under the dirt. It was like about 50, like 1950 Playboy, 50, 51.
Yeah.
And my dad and mom caught me with them under the bed with a little bit of weed. And coming in from Can-Am, I was lit. I got caught. I got my ass beat real bad. I think that was my last whooping, but it was like with an extension cord.
Yeah.
An orange one.
You remember that one, huh?
Yeah.
If that was the last one, your mom and dad probably said, this is the last time we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure we put this thing on it right so he'll remember it.
When my pops was going to prepare, I was putting all the clothes on my back, trying to get it right. As soon as he started, that shit slid all the way down to the bottom. But yeah, that was my last whooping. But later my dad and my mom found out that they were old magazines because they thought I was lying.
Right.
But when I guess they looked at them, but yeah, they saw that they was old.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was it like hanging out with Snoop? Because, I've gotten to know Snoop. I've known Snoop almost 30 years now. And he like, I don't know him like in his home. I've never been in his presence like that. But when he's around, he just makes you feel like you the homie. He makes you feel so good. Like he's so cool. He's so down to earth.
Yeah, it was a lot of different phases, through the 90s, 2000, 2010.
To the Snoop now.
Yeah, so you watch Snoop evolve through a lot of the rough times with Death Row. Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't with Snoop and Daz, I was always with Suge. So it was a weird combination, but But every time, you know, you with Snoop, you just get inspired to just be great and do your own thing. Not give a fuck, but care. You know what I mean? And really just stay on your shit. You know what I mean?
Are you surprised? Because he's one of the most recognizable names, one of the most recognizable faces in the entire world. And you watch, as you say, the maturation, and you see the phases and the evolution.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can just see it.
Yeah.
Like, he was once considered this, and now he's with Martha Stewart. He's hanging out with the biggest and the multi-billionaires. And he fit right in. He like...
Yeah, and he has equity in a lot of companies that a lot of people don't know from the business side. So, and he's helped a lot of companies. I mean, just in the stock market, just when he stamps it, I mean, numbers go up. Mm-hmm. So the power he has in these different communities are, you know, just unmatched. Right. Unmatched. So no, it's good watching what he does. And for me, I always watch the team. Like, everybody has a team. Mm-hmm. You come with a team, and you don't need 100 people on your team. Right. You need like 4 or 5 really strong, like, assassins in their position to do what they do. And he's always had that, you know, as he's made adjustments. And as you can see now, everything is on autopilot, but he's hands-on with everything at the same time. So to do 10 things like that, or 20 things, I remember many things he's doing, to have that team to keep everything balanced, keep the substance there, keep everything on time, keep everything structured. That's the beauty. And that's what I respect most about Snoop, outside of him just being a great family father and just friend, you know? Right.
High school. Did you go to a public high school?
Did I? Hell nah. I went to Curtis and I got jumped at Curtis. That was junior high. Nah, I couldn't go to Curtis.
Why they jump you?
It was in the wrong.
Did they know you who you were?
They didn't know. They didn't care who I was on TV.
Right.
It was my cousin Reggie and Ryan. And shout out to my cousins. They stayed closer to the mall in Delamo. And we stayed in Centerview. So we had issues with certain people there when we was younger. So it was somewhere I definitely shouldn't have been going to school. But nah, they lit me up. Maybe a couple times, and then I ain't go no more. Then I tried to go to a school in the Valley. I didn't really go to school.
Damn.
But I got a diploma. I got the diploma, but I never went to school. I had tutors too.
Yeah, so you kept more
but
like
if I told you my tutor stories, yeah.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Yeah. I wonder where my tutor is. Joyce, where are you? Shout out to my tutor, Joyce. Yeah, we would always go out and do our work outside in the field somewhere where we could overlook the world, right? So my mom let me go out with my tutor. This is my last tutor, yeah, because I kind of ditched the tutor from like 14 to 16. 16. Yeah. Joyce was the shit. Wow.
We should. Do we have documentation of you having a diploma?
I graduated. I graduated.
I mean, sometimes you graduate, they give you a certificate.
Nah,
say thanks for participating in high school.
No, so I graduated from college too. But I graduated from College Hill. I graduated from Alabama State. I got a certificate for multiple disciplinary studies. So I'm disciplined in multiple areas. You know what I'm saying? I'm skilled. And I got my diploma. You see me celebrating. I got my baseball hat on.
Right.
I had a big ass party after. But I graduated with like a lot of pregnant women and delinquents and stuff that never went to school.
Right.
So it was just a lot of us in the graduation, but it was lit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up for you in Hollywood? Because it seemed like when you were in high school, you were a problem.
Yeah, but that's when it was popping in Hollywood. So I was so like, and I wouldn't say bad, like I'm doing bad things to people. I was just lit. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doing grown shit a little bit
At
earlier.
16, 17.
Yeah, in the clubs and shit. And so.
Did your mom and parents know you were in the club?
No.
So you sneaking out the house?
Yeah.
So what they thought you were?
Well, when I was 16, I had a convertible. I had the BMW convertible that my mom and pops got me. It was a convertible Beamer. Brandy already had the 4.6 range back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember the 4.6?
Yeah, the big boy.
4.0.
Yeah.
B had the 4.6.
Okay.
She didn't want to drive it no more. I'm in that motherfucker, right? So, I was just moving around a lot. Like, it's crazy to see what was in the 90s, and I was able to witness that. But anybody that seen me in the 90s and knew that I was Brandy's brother, it was a trip to them. Like, they was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, I'm thinking the same thing as you're telling the story. I'm like, bro.
So they want to see it in action, so I would pull up and then have fun with everybody and be lit. Yeah, man. It was a good time. That's why being Brandy's brother, it was the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, it was never any friction on trying to be better.
Right. So there's no downside. There can't be any downside to that.
I would be insane. That would be insane.
It's all positive.
I mean, at the highest level, to the stars and the stars beyond.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the greatest.
Your mom was your manager.
My mom's still my
Still
third
your
eye.
manager.
She my third eye now.
Wow.
She watched the management team. She watched the lawyers. She watched everybody.
Was she Brandy's manager also?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a blessing, because now you have someone that sincerely have your best interest.
Yeah.
That can, hey, here's the money. This is the money coming in. This is what we have to pay X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we need to save to make sure, because if this thing ends tomorrow, we need to make sure that we're set up for past tomorrow.
Exactly. And, she's always instilled that with us. And even when we thought sometimes we was low, we was still up.